Hello and welcome. My name is Abner. This is our group seven, and our business proposal is creating an app. So our company name is called Synology, and our long-term vision statement is basically includes goals, the ideas, and purpose, values, and mission. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with this. What are our goals, right? Our goal is to build an app which will bridge the communication gap between deaf, hard of hearing, and hearing communities through advanced speech and mobile technologies. By creating this app, it will allow people with these disabilities to communicate efficiently and meaningfully with their friends, families, and peers. So, this idea stemmed from the importance of, how communicating amongst one another is. Most people are not familiar with sign language, nor do they understand its importance it plays among these underrepresented groups in society. Deaf and hard of hearing communities have a hard time in general communicating with the general population. So, we figured out why not remove the problem as a whole and create an app which could instantly translate words into sign language in real time, fluently, and vice versa, right? Minimizing the communication barriers and effectively increasing the inclusivity of deaf and hard of hearing communities. All right. What is our purpose, values, and mission? So our purpose is to build products which truly make a difference in people's lives. We want to empower the deaf and hard of hearing communities with these technologies along the way. So I think one mission to do that is to bridge the communication gap between deaf and hard communities with the general population. This basically stimulates the social dilemma of like not being able to communicate amongst one another. So I feel like that would be a one place to start. And also, what value would this company bring? I feel like this company aims to help people who are most hindered when it comes to the power of communication in the modern age. Most inventions are made to aid big companies, generate most revenue. However, there are not many startups such as ourselves which are innovating their products to assist the deaf and hard of hearing communities. This makes us stand out from the rest of the startup companies because not only are we providing a vital product, but an essential aid to strengthen their communication methods. Communication matters in all forms, which is why we see our company at a higher degree compared to the rest, right? Some questions that we asked ourselves along to guide us through this whole creating a process is one, what impact will our startup have on the deaf and hard of hearing community? We want to be as impactful as we can, helping those communicate efficiently and effortlessly to the general population, right? And how will we be different from those companies who are already doing the same thing, right? So those are two questions that are really tough to answer, but we are definitely confident in getting those ironed out as we move forward. External opportunities. I believe co-marketing is one of them. It would be a huge opportunity for companies such as Apple, Samsung, etc., to showcase the capabilities of their products, which is, in my opinion, great PR. This application will work great on any mobile device in any region of the world and can be a great communication tool for everyday use. Funding. Federal and state governments may provide an opportunity for funding. I feel like this application will be beneficial to the daily lives for so many people. And I believe the government should be able to invest in our company to provide more tools for the disabled population or impaired, right? Also, another thing that we considered is special conferences to present our product or services, such as the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference is a great way to present our products. It gives us a chance to put our foot in the door or put our product out there in the eyes of investors and, building really great, strong relationships in these industries and so forth. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our team bios. I'll go first. My name is Abner. I serve as the CEO and Director of Strategic Partnerships at Synology, working to build strong relationships with clients and vendors, and closely working together with the rest of the team to achieve long-term goals and objectives. I grew up with a deaf brother, and I saw the harsh realities my brother faced from a really young age, and I decided to do something about it. And I feel like this application is definitely one of those things where it could definitely bridge the communication gap between people who are unable to speak to different populations here in this world. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and pass it on to Aryan.
Hello everyone, my name is Aryan Patel and I am the co-founder and Chief Innovation Officer here at Synology. My team and I mainly focus on the process of innovation and implement them in a conscious manner. That way we can keep on working to improve our product. And yeah, we just hope that our product really changes lives of people who have hearing problems.
Hi everyone, my name is Ahmad Ashad. I'm also one of the co-founders of Synology. My job in the company is as a Chief Technology Officer. I'm in charge of maintaining and manipulating the software of Synology. I'm currently a student in Cal State East Bay. With my experience, I can help and improve the software's efficiency and productivity of Synology. And now I'll pass it on to Tommy.
Hey, I'm Tommy Tai, and I serve as a co-founder and a senior software engineer at Synology. I work with everyone on the team to provide resources and accessibility for those with hearing impairments. I'm also a student at Cal State East Bay, and I hope to be able to communicate and work effectively with this team.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys. So on our next topic here is a strategy. We came up with strategy points for between year 1, year 2, and year 3. So let's go ahead and dive into those things real quick. Year 1 is our main goal is to increase the accuracy of the software's recognition of sign language and voice recognition. And also revenue is a very important factor. It plays a huge role in getting the application up to speed and deployed in a timely manner. So I would reach out to vendors, investors, and see if we can find any sponsorship opportunities for app development, and that would basically, secure Series A funding for us. So year 2 is more of a hiring spree in a sense. We would hire more engineers to create the voice user interface and work on sign language recognition. And I want to touch a little bit more on the recognition topic because, sign language is a very complex language. And, just like there is an alphabet for everything to spell out, you can also say entire words with a single symbol, or hand gesture, if you will. So, getting that to be recognized by our system is very cumbersome, but we believe with the talent that we hire is definitely going to make a difference in making that, streamlined into our application effortlessly. So another thing that we would tackle on year 2 is speed up the loading time for voice recognition and upload of sign language by 50%. So have the dictionary, basically all the symbols and hand gestures uploaded to our database and readily processed for voice recognition and whatnot. So and also dry run of the software and collect data from potential users, right? And the last thing for year 2 would be to show the progress to investors and collect funds for Series B. Now for year 3, we would aim to tackle a more larger thing since we're already expanding at that point. Reduce error rate by software by 30%, release the app in beta format, meaning people can test it out before we fully deploy it to the general population, create a prototype, which is affordable and convenient for the users, test the product, collect data from the users to see if there's anything that we can fix on our end, and finally deploy the product. And then within a span of 4 to 6 months, we can actually reach or follow up with our investors and show them the progress that we've done over the course of year 3 and collect the funds for Series C. So with that being said, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Tommy, and he will be talking about our cultural policy.
Yeah, so for our cultural policy, we have core values, motivation. So for our core values, we want the company to be thought as fair and open. We want every employee to be able to voice their thoughts and opinions, and we're always going to be open to change. We want our company to be known for standing by anyone's side, working together. For our motivation, we want every worker to feel like they belong here and be able to speak openly, like we said in the core values. And we want a strong focus while not overworking our employees. So what we fear is overworking them and creating an unsafe workplace. We want to stay safe and strong as a whole company and just be an overall company where people can stay engaged and satisfied. And for our summary of our cultural policy, we added 6 words, which include unity, authenticity, innovative, customer focused, teamwork, and integrity.
Awesome. All right. Now, thanks again for going over that, Tommy. I will be talking a little bit more about our ethics policy, and which include core items and our board members that we selected. The core items include integrity, impactfulness, transparency, compliance, and privacy and confidentiality. So we chose these core items because, in sign language, communication is very direct and respectful. All of our communications and interactions with users should increase their trust in us, because we believe in a culture where everyone speaks their mind and improving accessibility, right? Impactfulness. Our products, features, and services should make Sinology impactful for all of our users. We have many different types of users, from individuals to large businesses to, but one guiding principle is, what we are offering impactful and servicing the needs of our users. I feel like if we question that, along the way with this application is maintaining the need of, or the idea of, impactfulness, right? 3, transparency. We believe in having conversations about office politics, whether it be best practice, its practices, policies, meetings, and other interactions. Making cultural change requires conscious effort and deliberate actions to achieve a true holistic, transparent work culture. And when I mean holistic, transparent culture, I mean basically being able to say what you have on your mind in a very respectful manner. And as uncomfortable as it could get, but I feel like this is the way to go, and it basically builds trust. For compliance, it is a personal responsibility of each Synology employee to adhere to the standards and restrictions imposed by those laws, rules, and regulations. Privacy and confidentiality. We are committed to preserve our users' trust, which requires that each of us respect and protect the privacy and keep all user information confidential, since they rely on our products and services on a daily basis. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start on our board members and why we selected them. So first we have Tybalt Duchemin, CEO and co-founder at Ava. I will talk a little bit more about Ava in the next couple of seconds, but let me just go ahead and present our board members first. Peter Duevendans, he's the COO and co-founder at Ava. Skinner Chang, who is a CTO and co-founder at Ava as well. So the reason why we chose these 3 board members is because they are actually building or actually already built an application that does similarly the things that we want to implement in our app. So let me just talk a little bit more about, the bio behind the CEO and how he came to creating this app, right? So Tybalt grew up being the only hearing person in a deaf family, interpreting them for them since age 5. And I hugely resonated with that statement because, when I was a kid, I was interpreting for my brother when we would go out, and family members couldn't really communicate with them, so I was doing all the translation. But enough of that. But after a life-changing trip in India and a double master in machine learning, AI from École de Ponts Paris Tech, and a master's degree in mechanical engineer from UC Berkeley, he founded Ava to make the everyday life of 450 million deaf and hard of hearing people 24/7 accessible. Like, it's amazing. This app can do transcriptions, live transcriptions in real time. I've actually tested the app myself with my brother, and he loves it. I feel like these board members really did a huge thing in developing this app. It's a huge move forward. I won't talk a little bit more. As much as I would like to talk about Peter and Skinner, there's time constraints. So, but I will include it in the wiki here so that you guys can read a little bit more about it. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to Imad, and he's going to be tackling item 4, experimentation.
So our company is mainly based off of software. So there's some of the experimentation we've listed that we're going to test on. First thing will be is face recognition for our cameras. We need to test the software to see if it recognizes sign languages through the camera. Once this task is successful, then the second thing we need to experiment is the voice user interface. Just to see if it can recognize different people's accents and tones of who may be using our software. This can be extracted and of the likes of Siri and Alexa. After doing these different experimentations, we can then go to the final phase, which is to test it on our customers or future customers. And that can be done when trying to have the camera recognize the sign language of different people. We could experiment in that way. We could also experiment on how our customers will show their sign language, and if the camera can recognize it fast enough. Once all of our tests are done, we can then bring our software up front, and we can send correct messages back and forth without significant mistakes. Now I'll pass it on to Aryan to speak a little bit about our priorities.
Thank you. So moving on to the priorities of our product, the highest priority task would be to check if the software is able to recognize the sign symbols correctly and successfully, as this is the most crucial part. After the software is able to recognize the symbols correctly, the second biggest challenge that we will face is the testing of the VUIs, and if they are able to recognize different tones. And the last task will be to able to integrate the system with virtual assistants such as Alexa, Siri, or Google. Oh.
Nice. And that concludes basically our entrepreneurship project. And I hope you enjoyed going over these items with my colleagues, and hopefully everything goes smooth after a few years. So, all right.